Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. Uh, I honestly don't know why this fight is happening. Mainly because, as far as I can remember, Steve Erceg lost his last fight versus Kai Kara France. Before that, he lost his fight against what do you call him, Alessandro Pantoja. Unless if I'm missing something, when you lose fights, aren't you supposed to fight people below you? Um, I feel like the UFC see something in Steve Erceg that maybe a lot of us don't see in him, and I don't know. It's going to take Steve Erceg being knocked out multiple times for them to maybe get to a point whereby they can say, okay, maybe we need to slow down a little bit on this guy. But with that being said, I was one of the people who were like, Kai Kara France is going to beat Steve Erceg when people were still high on Steve Erceg and the fact that, oh my God, he went to a close fight with Pantoja, he even won. And I was like, nah, man. Um, Number one, I don't think he won. Number two, I think he's going to do terrible against Kai Kara France. And I was right, he lost, right? And now they are then taking him and putting him against Brandon Moreno, a former two-time flyweight champion, one of the most talented fighters, one of the most well-rounded fighters in the flyweight division. He beat so many talented strikers like Kai Kara France, the guy who beat Steve Erceg. So, in a nutshell, for me, to be honest, I honestly don't understand why the UFC is doing this because I feel like Steve Erceg is honestly sad to say this because he's a good guy, but it feels like he's too overrated for me. There's nothing particularly special except maybe that he might have a bit of a finishing ability, but it's not as high as Brandon Moreno even. Um, as far as I can remember, I checked just recently, just that I haven't even slept in 24 hours, so my memory is just a blur. So as far as the breakdown, I think Moreno is going to be better significantly, virtually almost everywhere. I could see him dominating the striking exchanges. I could see him dominating the grappling exchanges. Cardio is not going to be a problem. And I don't like to do MMA mats, but I mean, if if Kai Kara France could do what he did to him, and Moreno actually finished Kai Kara France. But to be fair to Kai Kara France, that fight was close up until Brandon Moreno landed that was it a kidney shot or something like that that ended up finishing Kai Kara France. But up until that point, I felt like the fight was close. It was back and forth. I was a little bit worried for Brandon Moreno. But yeah, I think Brandon Moreno is going to win this fight. He's still, it's crazy to think that after everything that Brandon Moreno has achieved, he's still in his prime. Like, Brandon Moreno is like 30 or 31 years old, which is insane because he can still become a champion at that age, which would effectively make him a three-time flyweight champion, which would be significantly impressive. And Pantoja is getting older, so it is highly possible that Moreno can actually make his way back to the title and actually become a champion because he's still good enough to actually make that run. So yeah, I think Brandon Moreno is going to win this particular fight. It might be a decision. I'm not necessarily saying Steve Erceg is terrible. I just don't feel like he is championship caliber as yet. Maybe he might develop into that. Maybe he might surprise me in this particular fight, but I don't think he wins, man. So official pick is Brandon Moreno. As far as risk levels, my subscribers have a little bit more confidence in Brandon Moreno. They say this fight is 63% safe. I said it's 60% risky. If you like this content, please share, subscribe, comment, and let's get the conversation going. Join me in my streams, watch alongs every single week. Then I do upsets predictions on the live section of the channel. So see you in the comment section. I love and appreciate all of you. Until next time, deuces.